So part A to this question is pretty easy. It's just an average. Um, like any average for any data structure, first thing is going to involve adding up a bunch of numbers. So let's start with a sum. Now, the kids that took this test, here's some of the things they had to figure out. Like they had to understand this class has an array of reviews called all reviews. So if they want to access all of them, easiest way would be to just write an enhanced loop, like give me one of the reviews from the data structure called all reviews. Okay, but you can't say sum plus equals r. That a review is not a number, okay? But a review has a number. You just have to ask for it. So in this problem, they had a method called getRating. And if we used that method call on that review, then we'd get the number aspect of it. That would add up all the ratings, okay? And then we would divide that by how many ratings there were. And that could be accessed by asking for the length of the data structure. All right, so that's really it for part A. I didn't check the rubric, but I'm going to guess part A is only worth like 2 points. I think the main points here are going to be in part B. So 3.4, if you check, that's the answer that they came up with. And I was just using the same example that they did. All right. Okay, now on to part B. Like I said, much more difficult in this one. So in part B, it says write the review analysis method, collect comments. Okay, so this one, we're going to build a new array list. And in this one, they didn't give us an array list, but they're asking us to return one. So probably the first thing I would do is just go ahead and set that up. This is certain comments go into this array list, okay? You might notice this array list is built to hold strings. We don't have any strings given to us. So like what do we have? Well, okay, remember we have an array of reviews, and reviews have strings. So what we could do is we could go to one of the reviews in the array and we could get the string from it. And then from there, we can start making a whole bunch of different decisions. So one of the decisions is like, it has to have an exclamation point in it. We could use index of to figure that out. And then if it has an exclamation point, we need to add it to this array list. But we have to concatenate some other stuff into it. One of the things we have to concatenate into it is the index that it has in the array. So for that reason, I'm going to use an indexed loop because I want to know the index that it is associated with within the data structure. And the last problem I used an enhanced loop. This one I'm using an indexed loop because I actually need to know the index. But I mean, there's ways you could do it with an enhanced loop. This is just one solution. All right, so that's going to take me throughout the array. And then what I was saying just earlier is like each item in the array has a string. So can't do that. If I did that, that would be an error. You can't try to put a review into a string, but a review has a string. I just have to ask for it. That's where the get comment method comes in. And what I was saying also is that I'm interested in, does that string have an exclamation point? So this would call for like the index of method. And does it have an exclamation point? We could ask if we don't get -1, then it has an exclamation point. If it has an exclamation point, ultimately I am going to add it to this array list that I'm building. But there's actually a couple of alterations I want to make to it first. One of the alterations is we're supposed to add the index. That's why I was using that index loop and a hyphen prior to the current comment. So like I could do some concatenation like this to put in the index and the hyphen. Also, it said you're supposed to make sure there's a period at the end of it, but there's sort of a catch on this one. We don't always do that. We always put the index and the hyphen there, but we don't always put the period there. We only put the period there if there isn't one there already. And then we're going to say C equals C plus the period. And we do that if there's not already a period there, or if there's not an exclamation point at the very end. Okay, so what I might do then to kind of help me here is I'm actually going to make a 1-character string. I'll call it last. And this is just going to be the very last character of C. This will just kind of help me a little bit when I write the if statement. All right, so now I have that last character isolated. And again, what I want to know is, I want to know if it's an exclamation point, okay? Or if it's a period. But it's actually another trick here. It's not actually that I want those things. It's that I want to know if it's not one of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that whole thing in parentheses and put an exclamation point in front of it. So if I don't have one of those two characters, then they want me to put a period there at the very end. I didn't write the word new. That's, oh man. That would probably be penalized. All right. I don't think that's one they'd overlook. All right. And yeah, I think I put the answer in the tester, or you can check on theirs. This is the same answer they got, except, Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I knew I did something wrong. I took all that time and care to make that special 1-character string, and then I didn't use it. And the only reason I'm making this video now is because I messed it up in 4th period. And now I just messed it up again. Oh well. Thanks, Sohan. All right.